Hi there, it's Jansen from VMO. Welcome back to the VMO YouTube channel. Okay, so today I'm taking a look at leads. Now, each of these leads are made by Breakaway, and I know in the past we have covered leads to some extent, but I'm going to be focusing on the popular Impact lead, which originally was developed with the Breakaway grip wires. So I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with this lead. If you're not, I'll explain it to you now. So these grip wires are intended to hold into the bottom when you've got a fast running tide. And the whole thinking behind this lead was to incorporate a bait clip whereby your hook attaches onto there, and upon impact with the water, the cap rises and ejects the hook. So this was the original of the four leads that I've got featured here today. All of these are 150 gram. These leads are color coded. Yellow is 150, blue is 125, red is 170, and green is 200. So you've got different weight options there for different circumstances. When the tide might be running or perhaps the tide falls slack, you can adjust your lead accordingly. Now, the clever thing with these leads is the bait clip is exactly the same dimension on each of the designs of lead. So if I show you this, you can see that the clips perfectly align. So this enables you to change the lead over. So for example, you're fishing in a strong run of tide, you want to use the grip wires. When the tide slackens off, you can go down to what we call a plain lead. So exactly the same design, but without the wires. This will enable the lead to roll around on the bottom, and if there's just a little trickle of tide, it will cover a bit of ground. Really nice lead, for example, for place fishing. Somewhere like Chesil Beach, you can cast your baited rig up tide, and this will just trundle around slowly, covering lots of ground and hopefully finding some fish. So that's the wired version, that's the plain version. Now we come on to what they call the continental lead. So as you can see from this shape of lead, again, you've got the bait clip incorporated within the lead, but this shape of lead can cast a very long way, and it's basically shaped like an arrowhead, so it really does fly through the air. It's got excellent aerodynamics, fantastic lead. So why would we use this? Well, as I've said, this one here, the plain version, will roll around covering some ground. This one will grip in. This one is a kind of a compromise between the two, and if you've only got a small trickle of tide, you'll be able to use this just to hold bottom a little bit. There'll be some movement there, but it will still hold in, you know, a reasonable amount of tide anyway. So nice shaped lead for casting, and gives you a little bit of grip on the bottom. If you're casting onto, say for example, clay, that kind of thing, it's going to stick a bit, there's going to be a little bit of movement there anyway. So that's the continental lead. The final lead that we've got here is the flatty lead, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out why it's called the flatty lead. It's pretty flat, it's like it's been hammered down. Again, the bait clip is in exactly the same position as it is on all of these leads, so you can swap your leads over. And this one is particularly useful if you're fishing onto soft mud. So you imagine you cast out with that. If it hits the seabed and it's soft mud, it's going to get buried, okay? So you don't want that to happen. If you're casting into shallow water and your lead's gone right up in the air and it comes down, bang, that's going to get buried. It could go 2 or 3 foot under the mud, and it's going to be very difficult to pull it out, especially when the tide's coming in over the top, and it's going to take a hell of a lot of force to get it out of there. So we go for something like this. Obviously, because of the shape, it's not going to cast quite so well, but the whole purpose behind this thing is that as soon as it gets onto the bottom, it's going to settle flat. Okay, so if you're targeting flat fish in an estuary environment, for example, this is absolutely perfect. The other bonus about this lead, because of its shape, it does tend to plane up in the water. So for example, if you were casting onto a muddy seabed, but we're also negotiating rocks at close range, as soon as you start to wind this one in, it's going to plane up over the top of those rocks and get your rig out of trouble. So there you go, that is the 4 current models of Breakaway Impact lead. All of the bait clips are in exactly the same position, so your clip down trace can clip in you can remove the lead, clip another one on, and the hook will still locate in the bait clip. Anyway, hope you found this video useful today. If you did, please consider subscribing to the VMO channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.